My name is Lisa. I'm a stay-at-home mom living with my husband Noah and our adorable daughter Madison. While taking care of household chores, I'm constantly juggling Madison's upbringing. Playing with Madison takes a lot of energy, but I think of it as a form of exercise. On this day,
Mom, can I take some snacks to eat in the car?
well, maybe a little for when you get a bit hungry.
Yay. Then, I'll take some chocolate and biscuits. I'll also put some snacks for Daddy in my backpack.
Thanks. Then Madison, you're in charge of snacks, okay?
But remember not to eat too much, okay? Or you won't be hungry for dinner. And don't open everything all at once, alright?
Okay.
Doors are locked. We haven't forgotten anything. Perfect.
All right, let's get going.
On this day, the three of us were planning to visit my father-in-law's place. Upon arriving at his house,
Hello, Grandpa, we're here.
Oh, Madison, you came to visit.
hello, Dad. Sorry we arrived earlier than expected.
No worries at all. Sorry to have you come all this way, Lisa.
Not at all. Madison always looks forward to seeing you.
We left early expecting traffic, but it turned out to be fine.
Well, come in and have some tea while you rest a bit.
This is my father-in-law. Ever since my mother-in-law passed away a few years ago, he's been living alone in this large house. Madison adores her grandfather, so we frequently visit like this. After spending some time at his place,
Thank you for the cake, Grandpa.
You're welcome. You really do love strawberry cake, don't you, Madison?
thank you so much for preparing it for us.
Oh, it's nothing. Seeing Madison's happy face brings me joy as well.
Dad, you always spoil Madison. Oh, is it about time?
Oh, right. How time flies when you're having fun. Oh, I'm counting on you.
No worries. Leave it to me.
We're going for a drive with Grandpa.
That's great, Madison. In fact, my father-in-law had asked us to give him a lift to a certain destination. Noah was driving, I was in the front passenger seat, and in the back were my father-in-law and Madison. We were happily on our way. After driving for a while,
Well,
eek!
phew, that was close. Gave me a scare.
A kid on a bicycle suddenly appeared. Madison was also surprised.
That was dangerous. It's a good thing Noah was driving safely. Madison, make sure you never dart out into traffic like that.
Yep, I have to look both ways properly.
Thanks to Noah's attentive driving, we were able to avoid an accident. We were distracted by the child, and the traffic light turned yellow. We had already crossed the stop line, and it seemed more dangerous to halt abruptly, so Noah hurried through the intersection. Then,
Hey there! Pull your car over.
What's going on?
It's a cop. Looks like they're directing traffic.
Hello, sir. What did you just do there?
What do you mean? I didn't do anything wrong.
Ha! You just ran that red light.
no, my husband didn't run the red light.
Come on, ma'am. He proceeded through the intersection even when the light was red.
Well, I guess you could see it that way, but I was already in the intersection and the light was yellow, so it wasn't running a red light, right?
Yeah, spare me the excuses. License and registration, please.
Wait, why?
Didn't you notice the light turning yellow? Were you maybe driving distracted?
A child suddenly ran out in front of us, that's why. It was really sudden and frightening for both of us.
A kid? I didn't see that. Stop making poor excuses. Just turn off your engine right now. It's loud, hurry up.
Why would I need to turn off the engine?
Just follow my instructions and turn it off. You've committed 3 violations. Running a red light, driving distracted, and speeding.
What? My husband wasn't speeding.
2 miles per hour over the limit. Look, even if it's just 1 mile per hour over, it's still over. Anyway, I'm arresting you for reckless driving, so step out of the vehicle.
Noah and I were flabbergasted by the overly aggressive demeanor of the police officer. Then, from the back seat where he was seated, my father-in-law rolled down the window.
Hold on, officer. Don't you think you're being a bit excessive here?
What? There's someone else in the car? I didn't notice because of the tinted windows. Wait, what?
I heard everything from back here. Did they really commit a violation? It didn't seem like it to me.
Wait, aren't you Ken Zaburo, the famous actor?
The man driving is my son. We're on our way to a work site. How long is this going to take?
Well, if your son admits to the offense, we can wrap this up quickly. But as you can see, he's not being cooperative.
A kid on a bike suddenly zoomed out. Not just Daddy, everyone saw it.
Indeed. He also followed the speed limit correctly. As for the light, it turned yellow right after we entered the intersection, so it's permissible to proceed, right?
Yellow means caution. It doesn't exactly give you the green light to go.
I told you, the light turned yellow just as we entered. In that situation, stopping suddenly would be dangerous and an inconvenience, wouldn't it?
That's what we're saying. My father has work after this. Can we move on?
Well, I get what you're saying. Just sign this document. Once you do, I'll let you go.
I'm not signing anything. There's no need to.
Refusing to sign a ticket is a crime, you know. Did you think saying the same thing as a family would make a difference? I'm an excellent officer. I won't fall for such tricks. I'm arresting you after all.
It's natural to refuse if we didn't commit a violation. And refusing doesn't lead to an arrest.
What did you say?
If you're not willing to understand, please give me your name and department. We'll get in touch through our lawyer later.
After Noah confronted the officer smugly told us his name and department. 1 month later, alongside the attorney we'd hired and my father-in-law, who had offered to testify, we visited the police station. We were directed to a room where that same officer and the chief of police awaited us.
This is the footage from my dash cam that day. As you can see, I did not commit any traffic violations.
Did you properly check for safety? I don't see any evidence of that. Your dashcam surely didn't capture that, did it?
This dashcam records in 360 degrees. So it captures not just the front and sides of the vehicle, but also inside the car.
I see. Let's verify that. From this footage.
None of the violations Officer Elvin mentioned were committed. Plus, your behavior at the time was rather unprofessional.
What do you mean unprofessional? I work hard every day to prevent even one more accident and ensure the safety of our citizens. So it's quite offensive for you to call me unprofessional.
I can't believe that one of my officers would act like that.
Then let me provide you evidence to believe it. Right after you pulled us over, I recorded our conversation on my phone.
What? Officer, they're saying they have evidence.
Why would a diligent officer like me do such a thing?
After accusing my son with baseless charges, you leaned your elbow on the car window and acted arrogantly. That behavior was way out of line.
Why did I ever do that? Do you even have proof? Besides, you turned off the engine when we talked, so there's no dash cam footage either.
So you told us to turn off the engine to hide evidence? Well, we still have the evidence you're so worried about.
Evidence?
The dash cam continues to record even after the engine is off. Too bad for you.
As it turned out, our car's dash cam could record even after the engine was turned off. Surprised by this, Officer Elvin reacted.
Your car had tinted windows, didn't it? That kind of tint is prohibited on regular vehicles, you know.
What are you talking about? It's fine to use as long as it has a light transmittance of 70% or more. It's for the rear windows, so there's even less of an issue. Even I know that.
Enough! Refusing to sign a ticket is grounds for arrest.
Would you stop this nonsense? This is clearly our oversight. I sincerely apologize for the inconvenience.
So you think an apology will just settle everything?
Huh?
Father-in-law?
I don't think this is something that can be easily brushed aside. We will ensure he faces appropriate consequences.
Words are easy to say. By the way, this officer is your nephew, isn't he? I know he's caused trouble multiple times before, and you've covered for him.
What did you say?
You two are related.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, you don't? Let me enlighten you. When I mentioned this incident at work, several people said they've had similar experiences in that area, and the officer who pulled them over, it was you.
If you've been doing this kind of thing regularly.
What are you talking about? If I judge that there's a need for enforcement, then I act accordingly. It's my job.
Your job. So targeting people unfairly is part of your job.
Exactly. Even children can see what you're doing is wrong. Upon hearing the shocking revelation from my father-in-law, Noah and I were taken aback. It appeared that Elvin's behavior was a common occurrence.
I'm just doing my job.
Don't be absurd. I've heard you guys have performance goals. Are they genuinely about catching actual violators? Yet here you are, ticketing drivers who haven't violated anything just to fulfill your personal agenda. Can you really say that's your job?
It seems there's a misunderstanding here. I'm just working hard, that's all. Maybe I get a bit too zealous? So even small infractions catch my eye.
Don't joke around. Don't use pretty words to sidestep the issue. Small infractions? Noah didn't violate anything.
I wasn't on the scene and your claims are, well,
What's wrong with making a rightful claim? As the chief, you should be guiding him as a police officer, regardless of any family ties.
as I said, I always thoroughly instruct my subordinate, but I'm only human. Sometimes things slip through the cracks.
I see, so you'll continue with this attitude.
What attitude? We've reviewed the footage from the dashcam, and I've said we'll ensure thorough guidance.
You know, people like you are called chronic complainers out there.
Hey! Don't be rude to my father-in-law. We're not making any false claims. We brought evidence because you're the one in the wrong. Noah did nothing wrong. That's why we're having this discussion. Stop with this dismissive attitude.
My, what a spirited daughter-in-law you've got there. Ha ha ha.
Both Wendell and Elvin continued with their frivolous attitudes. No matter how we tried to argue, they just laughed it off, making the conversation utterly unproductive. However,
My son, my daughter-in-law, and I all clearly witnessed your improper behavior at the time. We live in an era often referred to as the age of evidence. That's why we're here, bringing evidence with us for this conversation.
And I've been saying that we're addressing it, haven't I?
Just saying it doesn't change anything. Seems like neither of you is genuinely interested in hearing our side.
Come on, we've made the time to listen, haven't we?
To be frank, we're also busy, you know.
Seems that way. Let's end our discussion here, then.
yes, it appears fruitless to continue talking to you.
I didn't expect it to be this hard to communicate.
Think whatever you want.
I happen to know someone at the top of the police department. Maybe I should speak with them.
What?
If the chief here is like this, maybe it's time to talk to someone higher up.
This is an internal matter for our jurisdiction.
Did you think we'd just sit here and quietly listen forever?
Hold on, when you say acquaintance, are you referring to someone you've just met briefly for work or something?
The police commissioner.
What?
The police commissioner. He and my father have been close friends since their college days.
Father-in-law, you mentioned showing evidence might make them understand.
Here, this is a picture we took together when we went fishing recently.
It turns out that father-in-law was friends with someone at the top. Upon learning this, Wendell and Elvin, who became quite flustered, said,
I had no idea that you were acquainted with such a person. I apologize for our previous behavior, and I promise we will fire Elvin. Just please don't escalate this any further.
Why am I the one getting fired?
Oh, speaking of which, I have something for you. Here you go.
What? Why do I have to pay for your fees and the damages?
What are you talking about? Your actions made us significantly late for work. We had limited time at the filming location. We even had to reschedule some scenes to another day. Do you realize how many people you inconvenienced because of your behavior?
Even if you say that, I was just doing my job.
You were just harassing us on a personal whim. Let me make it clear. This bill is from my agency. If you have complaints, take it up with them.
We're done talking to you too.
Please wait. Please reconsider this.
No way we're dropping it. I will never forgive you guys.
Nor will I. It's unforgivable to act the way you did while wearing that uniform.
We truly will fire Elvin. We'll even make him come and apologize again later.
That won't be necessary. We've said all we need to say.
I admit I was wrong. I recognize my mistake back then. So, please forgive me.
Who says we're going to forgive you?
Please persuade your father. I beg you.
It's not happening. I am the strong-willed wife after all.
Don't think you can always have things your way. We'll be on our way.
It seemed father-in-law had anticipated this outcome and had already contacted his friend, the police commissioner. As expected, the conversation didn't go well, so he reached out again and provided the evidence. As a result, it was revealed that not only Elvin but also Wendell had been involved in various misdeeds in the past. When these came to light, both were dismissed from their positions. Their actions were reported on television, exposing their names and faces to the public. On top of that, Wendell was due to retire in 2 years, but naturally, he wouldn't receive any retirement benefits. For Elvin, finding employment in public service again seemed impossible. Having been coddled and favored by his uncle for so long, he struggled to hold down even a part-time job. Simple tasks felt too tough for him, and he couldn't last anywhere. Wendell's wife and daughter, disappointed in him, left. Thus, both men faced the consequences of their past actions and led miserable lives without power or income. After this incident, our life was.
Look, Grandpa's on TV.
Whenever I see myself on TV, it feels like I'm looking at someone else.
You know how people often say their recorded voice doesn't sound like their own? Is it like that?
Yes, when I was younger, it felt embarrassing, but now it's more of a strange feeling.
Dad is the immersive type, so once filming is done, he tends to forget.
Because he has to memorize so many lines. If he doesn't forget, maybe he won't be able to remember the next ones.
Ha ha ha, that might be true.
Ever since then, there have been no unreasonable traffic stops at that intersection. Occasionally, officers stand there for traffic control, guiding everyone with a smile. Every time Madison sees this, she smiles and remarks how cool they look. It takes a lot of courage to voice one's opinion. But if you know you're right, you'd want to be someone who can clearly express it. While it might be challenging depending on the situation, to protect the smiles of my family and myself, I strive to practice speaking up in my daily life. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to hit the like button and consider subscribing to my channel for more great content. Just click on the subscribe button below, and don't forget to ring the notification bell so you'll be the first to know when I upload a new video. See you in the next one.